You know, school may be out, but that doesn't mean that learning has to take a vacation too. How many times did you hear that when you were growing up? You can't just lay around the house. If you're looking for fun places to take your kids this summer where they may actually learn a thing or two, the Connecticut Academy for Education has identified learning destinations for you. Joining us today is Richard Cole, the President and CEO of the Connecticut Academy for Education. How you doing, Richard?
Steve, how are you?
Good. And David Mestry is here, and David is the Director of Space Science Education at the Discovery Museum. You can tell this is going to be a lot of fun. Richard, tell us a little bit about the Connecticut Academy for Education and what the main goal is.
The Academy was started in 1991 by the state as an independent nonprofit to work with families, schools, children, and adults to help advocate and catalyze math, science, and technology learning.
Mm-hmm. Now, I've actually been over the place and gone through with you. Met you back a few years ago. How did you come up with this whole program where you're actually saying that, you know, there's learning destinations, and tell us how you got involved in this?
In 1994, we began to recognize that when school was out, the mindset was that people just stopped learning.
Yeah, you just go hang around at the playground and drink Kool-Aid and all that.
But the issue is, Steve, school stopped, not learning.
Oh.
And so what we did is we looked around the state of Connecticut and we found that there were 80 places in this state that were science or nature centers. All of them had summer programs for families, for grandparents, aunts and uncles, young children. So learning didn't stop. Learning changed venues. And so we brought them together and we said, hey, why don't we start working together with the media to advertise what you're doing so families and children can learn together in a fun location. Since 1994, we've been doing this. We're so happy that WTNH News 8 is working with us. Northeast Utilities and the GE Foundation have helped fund this program. And right now, if you go on to the websites, you can identify 55 specific locations in all 8 counties in the state of Connecticut. And as you know and as your viewers know, you can't drive 2 hours in Connecticut without going someplace else or getting wet. So it's easy for anyone to find a place to go to learn in Connecticut.
And it's always about learning by doing.
Always.
In school, it's the same way?
Always.
You know?
You and I were talking. We both learn by doing. We can read it. That's important. But to see it actually happen, and especially in science, it is such a visual medium by which to learn, and it's exciting.
So there's 80 places around the state, and you can just pretty much, you know, go anywhere and learn something at 80 different locations around the state.
And you can find that on WTNH's website or on our website.
Now, what are some of the cool things, just off the top of your head? I know he's cool, but other places that people can go learn things around Connecticut?
Well, clearly there's the Discovery Museum in Bridgeport, but you have the Science Center in Hartford, the new one that opened. You have the Children's Science Center. You have Kid City in Middletown. You have the Dinosaur State Park. How far around Connecticut do you want me to take you? I would suggest, rather than me telling your audience, have your audience go to our websites and they can look by county. A fun thing to do is to make a printed list of them and mark them off.
That's easy.
Go.
And you can follow through the summer.
Put it on your refrigerator.
Learning doesn't take a vacation.
Ever.
All right. All right, so you've brought along somebody special with us today, and this is David Mestry. Give us an idea, David, of what you're going to be doing.
Well, we're going to be doing some experiments with liquid nitrogen, which is some very, very cool stuff. It's about 320 degrees below zero. So we are going to play with liquid nitrogen, and I'm just going to show you some of the very cool things that we can do with liquid nitrogen. But first off, inside this dewar, we happen to have some liquid nitrogen, and we're just going to pour this liquid nitrogen right into this mug right here.
Do I need a little protection or goggles?
No, I think you're pretty safe right there.
You do.
And what happens is that this liquid nitrogen, right about now, I brought my lunch with me, and I'm just going to take my lunch. I'm just going to kind of cool it down just a little bit. You know, as I cool it down, you know, a lot of people know that liquid nitrogen is very, very cold, and you never would really have a banana available just to kind of play with liquid nitrogen, but we happen to have one right here. And we're just going to show you, you know, what else you can do with the banana besides just kind of, well, eat a banana. So I brought my liquid nitrogen, my banana. I got a board right here, and I just happen to have a nice little nail. So I'm just going to pull out that.
Do you do a lot of stuff like this down at the Discovery Museum?
Yes, we do. We actually have special programs just about every day where we'll do science demonstrations. Our demonstrations are called "Don't Try This at Home." So this is
really
definitely
don't try this at home.
Definitely don't try this at home. And what we do is we actually just kind of excite kids about science. You know, get them really excited about all the possibilities, and just show them that science can actually be a lot of fun. So right about now, we're just kind of getting this thing nice and hard. And I think I'll probably just pour in just a little bit more liquid nitrogen, just so that our audience can see that it is just run-of-the-mill liquid nitrogen. I'm just pouring right here. I'm going to put some more in there, and I'm just going to get this really, 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 really cold. And I just happen to have right here, I've got just my nail, and I got my board, and I'm just going to set this up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my banana here, and hopefully, if I'm doing this right.
Wow!
The banana can be used as a hammer.
Did you know that?
And the banana didn't split.
Oh, that's incredible. All right, well, that is very, very, literally very cool.
Yes.
All right, go to the next one. Let's see what we got.
Well, our next thing is we'd like to show you what happens to just run-of-the-mill objects when we get them very, very cold. So I happen to have here just a run-of-the-mill balloon. Now, the balloon is filled with gas, and this gas is just carbon dioxide. I just kind of blew into the balloon.
Yeah.
And this is just going to show you what happens to gases when we get them very, very cold. And what will happen, and you'll see it, is that gases contract when they're very cold. So I'm going to take my liquid nitrogen at 320 degrees below zero, and then I'm just going to pour the liquid nitrogen right on top of my balloon. And as I do that, I'm just going to pour it right on top of my balloon. And as I pour it on the balloon, you'll start to notice that the gas inside the balloon begins to contract. And as it contracts, the gas takes up less space inside the balloon. And we're just contracting the gas, and the balloon starts to get smaller. And right about now, this is the gas inside the balloon. As it starts to heat up, is going to get bigger. It's going to take up more space. And as the gas expands, as it warms, it takes up more space inside our balloon. And hopefully, if I haven't destroyed our balloon, as it warms up, hopefully...
Oh, that is cool. That is so cool.
Our gas will expand as it warms up to room temperature. And if you're brave enough,
cool.
It's back.
Hey, these are just a couple of the hands-on experiments that you'll find at the Discovery Museum in Bridgeport. And check out Learning Doesn't Take a Vacation website. Let's put the information up on the screen so folks can get a little bit about that at home. All right, coming up next, we'll meet the cast members from Chautauqua when Connecticut Style returns. This is so cool.
All righty. And I also have that racquetball if that's something that you still want to add to it. So.
We're done.
Oh, we're done? All right. We're off? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Be well.
It's like, wow, when I saw it,